Okay, welcome to Tertulia for Authors Office Hours, everyone. Great to see you. I am Linda Hammis. I am co-founder of Tertulia, joined here by the team. If you could just say hi, our CEO, Sebastian,
Hey guys.
Hey, Sebastian.
Hi. Hello.
Ilea, and Angie
Hello.
on author
Hi.
relations team.
Hey, Aaliyah.
Oh,
Angela.
all right, thanks, guys. Great to see everybody. Happy Valentine's Day in advance. We have a little Valentine's Day present for you today.
Awesome.
Yeah, I would never show up for Galentine's without something for you because we love you guys. And so, we are launching our first help center. All
Awesome.
right. So this is the
That is good.
beginning of what we hope is a really sort of helpful way for you all on off hours to consult with us when we don't get back to you within a minute. And you all know that Angie and Ilea often get back to you in a minute. But this is, it's kind of self-serve. So you'll hear more from us on email and in the product too, and in Tertulia for Authors about this. But if you get stuck or if you're ever just wondering about how to do something, you can consult the Help Center and love any feedback you have on it. And of course, we're also continuing to build the tutorials on our YouTube channel. So make sure to follow us there, comment, like, and share, please. Thank you so much. All right. And we've got the results of the poll are in. Let's see what we have. Great. So we've got a few new people, at least eight new people today, since I think we're capped at 100 people. So welcome. And then we've got a bunch of you who are in a trial trying Tertulia, and we hope by the end of this session you are convinced because we know that we're going to make an awesome website for you that you cannot ever go back from using any other service but Tertulia. And that is our goal, just to repeat from what I said last time. Um, we know that we can make authors' lives easier. This is the beginning. We think we've built a beautiful and elegant product, but we've got a lot more to come. Curious what you all thought of the Tertulia Pro demo. If you want to drop any comments in the chat. And for those of you who didn't make it last week, no worries. You can play it back. I've shared the YouTube link there. Lucille, welcome. I'm sorry about the capacity issue. Totally our bad. We did increase the capacity on this meeting, but it seems like it may not have totally worked. So apologies for that. Okay, I think we can get started. Let's see if we have our three authors from our panel here today. Linda, are you here?
I am here. Yes.
Great. Good to see you.
Good.
Nice to have
Thank you.
another Linda in the house, especially. Thank you for joining.
You're welcome.
Great. And just make sure I can see our RSVP list. All right. And Gregory, are you in the house?
Linda,
Yes,
can I make
yes,
a
I'm right
request?
here.
Gregory, are you here?
I'm here. I think someone was talking at the same time.
Yeah, excellent. If
Someone had
everybody
a
could mute, that
request.
would be awesome just for this first 25 minutes or so. Nice to see you, Gregory.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Having a lot of fun with your website, Gregory.
Well, thank
Um,
you for what you're doing.
yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun working with you. All right. And Jeffrey, are you in the house?
I'm right here.
Excellent. All right,
Thank you.
Jeffrey, guess what? You're going to get to go first and introduce yourself. Just a short note about the type of books you write and how long you've been using Tertulia.
Sure. I'm Jeff. I'm Jeff Hillard, and I appreciate the offer to be on today as part of the panel. I've been using Tertulia about 8 months, and I could not be happier. If you're in a trial, my first word to you before I forget is it's absolutely worth it. I could not be happier. And I've never been an incredibly technical person, but the cheerleading and hand holding and just the guidance that Tertulia offers is just second to none. that I've seen. At any rate, I write novels and poems and long form nonfiction and essays. And I teach a writing course as well. So we're really
Excellent.
happy to be here.
Thank you, Jeff. And I
And
promise
thanks to
everyone,
and Linda, quick thanks to Ilea for all her help over 8 months. She already knows how much I appreciate her. She's an amazing person, amazing staff person, and brilliant at what she does. Brilliant. And I know Angie is too, as well. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
thank you for that, Jeff. And I promise everyone, this is not an infomercial. We're going to get to the
No,
author
no,
panel.
it's not.
All right, Linda, could you introduce yourself briefly?
Sure. My name is Linda Lee. As an author, I go by Linda Ruth Lee because my middle name has significance in my book. I'm a first-time author. I wrote a memoir called Way Beyond: A Birth Mother's Journey Through Teenage Pregnancy, Adoption, and Faith. And I won't continue with the infomercial, but I would just say ditto to everything that Jeff just said, that Tertulia has just been wonderful.
Fantastic. Thank you, Linda. And
Yes.
Gregory, come on up.
You unmute. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you and hello to everyone. Gregory McCord, 30 plus year educator, everything from substitute teacher all the way to superintendent of a school district here in South Carolina. Currently, I do what I call administrative trainings. I teach those that are aspiring to be administrators as well as those that are currently serving in that capacity, helping them get better. Started out writing a book on ed leadership and realized I had a room full of books on ed leadership and decided to make a pivot. And my pivot was that I wanted to write something that would have an impact on youth. And I put out a book, one book in mind to begin, but it has spawned off into 3 books. So I have an early education book, I have a middle grade to high school book, and then I have a coloring and activity book. And so it's been a lot of fun just watching this thing evolve.
Thank you for that. I love how different you guys are in terms of what you write. And in general, if all of you saw the slideshow in the waiting room, such an amazing diversity of authors that we have at Tertulia, which makes this just so much fun. And, yet so many learnings to share across genres and across experience levels. With that, I don't want to spend this whole time talking about the wonders of Tertulia, but I will say, with the moderator's privilege, my first question is, what is the one thing on your Tertulia site, like a feature or a custom page or something about your design that you think was special for you and actually made a difference with the way you presented your author profile to the world or the way you marketed your book? Just one thing. Anybody want to go first?
Professionalism.
Professionalism. Gregory, I love the one-word answer. Concise. Thank you. Linda.
I would say the reader magnet was most important to me.
Tell me more.
So my memoir, a lot of people know me. I have a large group of friends and family members, and people didn't really know the things that I wrote in my memoir. So as I told them to go to my website, and they could get a glimpse of kind of some of my secrets and hurts from the past. I think it drew a lot of people in. Oh, you mean I can find out like more like what this is going to be about? Just like a teaser. And I think that was really helpful in a lot of ways.
Yeah, thank you, Linda. I think, we talked I think it was last office hours about the power of sampling. In your case, just because there's so much revealed in that book, sampling is really powerful. But I think in general, everybody wants to try before they buy. And why should books be any different? So I love that benefit of the reader magnet too, and using that. So Linda, did you think that helped you get more people signed up for the email, help you sell more books, or both?
I think it helped me sell more books. I don't actually have like a robust mailing list right now, but I think it again that sampler, and I think it helped me sell more books. And the other thing is having a domain name that is just my name. So it's like, yeah, you don't have to remember the name of the book. You just know me, so go to my website.
Great. Yep. So, makes sense. Another aspect of professionalism, as Gregory says. How about you, Jeff?
Yeah, I think for me, it would be the design capabilities. And I'm not a designer, but Tertulia makes it so user-friendly that you can actually go in there and feel confident flirting with different kinds of designs, different kinds of fonts. I never thought I'd get to that point, with a previous website. So I think for me right now, it's design. And I get a lot of positive feedback on the way it looks. And again, we have other authors in our room today in our office hours who have, man, marvelous designs on their website, just extraordinary. That's a big deal.
I think the highest compliment that we could pay to my colleague Robert, who's our design and product lead, and my co-founder, he couldn't be here because he's on Europe time zone. But it's when you start seeing authors do things that we didn't even know to do with the tool and kind of make sites that kind of blew us away. A few months ago, I think I started really seeing that. And it says a lot about flexibility. So we hope there's more to come on that front too, because we know people are very ambitious about how original they want their sites to be. But yes, I think design is, we're living in a design conscious world. So I agree with that, Jeff. Thank you. All right. And can we hear, maybe while someone's talking, Ilea, if you wouldn't mind pulling up their site, that would be great. Just the homepage would be fine. Can you share a recent win, an author win that you have had? This could be reaching your goal of sales and like a little about how you did that, launching a book that you never thought you would, or reaching a new type of readership. Any kind of win that you can share with this audience that would be inspiring would be wonderful.
Right?
Gregory.
So a win for me is just the idea that this is a self product, and in order for you to be successful, you have to be willing to have people tell you no. And so what I meant when I said professionalism, what you gave me was a chance to offer a professional website that people can pull up automatically and see that this is more than just a conversation. And so that has allowed me to say, hey, this is my book. Have you seen it? Check it out, the website. And then they are impressed by the way the website is laid out, and the conversation goes from there. So now I can tell you about the book. So I'm actually having a great time getting out and doing something different than what's in my past, even though I probably have been a salesman for the entire time I've been in education. This is totally different because this is me selling my product, and I have enjoyed it. And the other thing that has been a win for me is I use social media now as a target audience, everything. And what I mean by that is whether the platform is TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, whenever I reply, whenever I respond, type in my website. I'll say something like, hey, thank you for your comment. Please check out my website. And so I get a chance to follow with the analytics to see how well I'm doing. I actually stopped for a week because I wanted to see, is it going to continue if I don't push it, or will it continue as I just push it out? So I'm having a good time playing with it to see what the accuracy levels are based on my interactions with folks. I can't hear you.
Thank you for that. I was actually going to ask you how you are driving traffic to your site. So it sounds like you're putting a little muscle into your social media, and that muscle, it takes the form of personal engagement on comments. Are you seeing that commentary growing, getting you new followers, getting you new book sales? I know that's hard to track, is one question. And second is, are you tending to send people to Amazon? Does it matter where you send them to buy your book? Are you thinking much about how, selling your book directly, for instance, as we talked about last week, or are you thinking
Do.
about sending them to a specific retailer? How does that turning fans into book buyers work for you?
So for large orders, I ask them to buy directly because I purchase my books from Amazon. And so I've sold over 3,000 books and I've only been out a couple of months. And I find it better to do large sales directly from me, because I can control it a little bit. I'm not finding a lot of luck or success with the comparison analytics from your site and Amazon, which makes me leery as to whether or not, I'm actually getting credit for books that are being sold. But now with people purchasing directly from me, it's a hit on the front end, but I know I have it coming back. Like I just sold 900 books earlier this week. Well, I know that's 900 books that are definitely going to go out to someone at a district, and then I'm going to receive the receipts for that. I have to pay the taxes, of course. I have to pay the shipping and handling, but I don't have to worry as to whether or not I'm getting credit for the sale. I've done that a few
Congratulations.
times. Thank you.
That's
And
massive.
yeah, well, I think my product is a little bit um, different because I intentionally sought out the elementary age group because reading is a cornerstone for everyone, and everyone has reading initiatives. And so I'm just trying to find my way around, and I'm enjoying it because it gives me something to do that I can get excited about. And it's not so much about the money. For me, it's about the impact. I'm trying to use this as a subtle gateway to introduce young folks. So
I
as
love
well
that.
as
That's
the
that's
game of
awesome.
golf. So it's been going pretty well.
That's beautiful. I love that. Gregory, just two quick things. Somebody in the chat asked how many hours you spend roughly on social media management.
A great question. I would say it would be hard to quantify because I do it on the fly. And what I mean by that is if I'm in a meeting and I'm bored, I hate to say that, or if I'm at the gym on the treadmill, I'll scroll through, I'll see something of interest, and then I'll plug my information in. So I would say roughly, you know, if I had to tally up the minutes throughout the day, hour, 2 hours, I don't know. I don't sit and let an hour go uh, on social media. I just kind of catch it on the fly.
Absolutely. Makes sense. And yeah, bulk sales is such a sort of amazing thing to tap into, which you can definitely be doing to, do a custom page on your website for bulk sales, that kind of thing. That's really great to hear. And to your point about tracking sales to Amazon, I mean, that's definitely come up before because purchase clicks in your analytics panel does not necessarily mean purchases.
Right.
And so, we totally understand that frustration. We don't get that data back from Amazon, but definitely something, maybe not for this session, but for another session is like, how do we get our arms around tracking sales and feeling confident that we understand where our sales are coming from and we're getting credit for them, maybe even a breakdown on royalties, which people ask us a lot about. And that's not totally in our wheelhouse, but as a community, we're here to all help each other trade notes and better understand those important topics. So thanks, Gregory.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Linda,
maybe
how about you?
Linda, just one comment there. Obviously, for people who may not be as familiar with it, one of the big advantages of selling direct, as Gregory was pointing out, is that you know exactly how many sales you've made. And
Right.
so the pro plan is our first attempt, digital only for now, but eventually it will include print on demand as well. To allow people to sell direct so that every single purchase on your website, you control, you get the receipts, you set the pricing, etc. And importantly, you know who it went to. And so that person becomes your kind of customer. And it's not just about selling them one book and not knowing who they are, but it's about developing a relationship with them, sending them your newsletter, sending them future books, etc. So sorry to jump in, but thought might be helpful to kind of know that that's very much top of mind for us in the coming months.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sebastian. Um, yes, direct sales. We're going to be talking about that a lot in the next couple of months. Linda, talk to us about sort of recent win, maybe something else strategic that you want to share. You already talked about Reader Magnet, but even outside of that, events or anything else that you can share that you think would be an inspiration in terms of your goal with this book and how your sales played out and all of that. I know it was a huge success for you personally.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, so my book actually came out on Thanksgiving or a couple hours before Thanksgiving. And I don't think I really pre-planned my the timing of it. I really expected it to be out earlier in the fall, but the way it worked out was very beneficial because I was with family over Thanksgiving. They gave me a surprise launch party. I think that's scrolling down. Yep, there you go. My surprise launch party there. My husband made custom T-shirts, and it was just a great thing to feel supported by my loved ones and family, but also to, get that word out and spread that joy. Um, and then after Thanksgiving, people are on Amazon. People are ready to shop at Thanksgiving. People are making purchases. So, when that really worked out extremely well. And then when it got to be the beginning of December, I decided to send out physical Christmas cards. And in addition to normal Christmas card information, I told people what I've been doing the last year. I've been working on writing a book. So that was, I think, very beneficial, the timing. And then and then people were like, "Oh, I want to buy that as a Christmas gift." And so, I think that increased sales. And then people are home over the holidays. Now, my birthday was in January, so there's a lot of, Facebook, social media back and forth over birthdays. And then we got iced and snowed in for about a week. So I think, again, that's a time when people are reading books and talking to people about what they're reading and that type of thing. So I think for me, the timing of it was just very, very beneficial. Kind of like what Gregory said, kind of, to me, more the impact is more what speaks to me a little bit more than the number of sales, but the number of sales has far exceeded my expectations. I'm a first-time author and just had this story that I felt very compelled to tell about my personal life that no one really knew all the pieces. So
Thank you. This gives me the shivers, Linda. I have I would say that in addition to timing, which you're right, timing is so much of life, if not of book releases. Um, thinking strategically about your timing is smart with a book launch, but also don't ever underestimate the power of friends and family. I said to a friend who's launching a book recently, think about your book launch as you're bootstrapping your startup. And, they don't call it the friends and family round of, this is very startup speak, but they don't call it the friends and family round for nothing. You get your friends and family, and then you get to their next outer circle and their next outer circle. And that is super, super powerful. I know another friend who wrote a sort of really revelatory memoir about a family secret having to do with a Holocaust survivor in her family, and really thought about this as having personal impact in her life. Just really wanted to get the story out, Linda, and she ended up just completely taking off on talk shows. She is still 5 years later doing speaking circuit around the country. And it was all really in the beginning, her friends and family boosting her, word of mouth, tons of organic growth. So, to everybody on this call, I think never ever underestimate the power of friends and family. For the other side of your goals, not so much the personal meaning side, but the I want to sell some books here. And that's such a cool thing to say. So, congratulations.
thank you. And I'm about ready to hit number 200 sales in less than 3 months, like 200 book sales. So for me and my personal goals, that far, far exceeds what I thought or anticipated, but also the impact, being able to have very, very heartfelt, extremely deep conversations with a lot of people that my book has made happen.
I can only imagine. Very cool. Very, very cool. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Jeff, let's hear from you. Just, it could be a recent book. It could be kind of your career overall in terms of what you've learned, sort of
Yeah.
a win or a goal that you achieved. Love to hear an inspiring anecdote that you think this crew would appreciate.
Sure. Congrats to Linda and Gregory for all their success. It's huge. I haven't had a novel come out since 2021. However, uh, this October, I have a new book of poems to come out that's going to be coming out, which is really a big deal for me. So it'll be my first book of poems in many years. But I'm thrilled about, and Tertulia, the website, the help, my infatuation with Tertulia is going to be a huge player in how I'm able to get out the word in a kind of pre-launch. And it's a small poetry press in Ohio that is going to do the book. So it will be a good way for me to help that publisher as well. I think what I've learned is that I'm so comfortable now with going to my website here and doing what I need on a blog or reshaping something, getting information out about my course coming up. That it's just a win. It's just a win-win. I get I still get just consistent sales on the novels. Those are young adult novels, but for adults too. And I'm happy about that. I don't necessarily promote or publicize them as much as I did when they first came out, but people know how to find them. So that's kind of the long and short.
Fantastic. I'm
Thank you.
psyched for your poetry book, and you
Yeah,
let us know how we can be of help and stay in good
it
touch. I hope
it'll be
that you got time, right, to sort of build up your
that's
awareness and
just
buzz in
it.
your community and yeah.
This site's going to be huge, a huge advantage in what we call pre-launch or pre-publicity.
Fantastic. Yeah. Good luck. And
Thank
then
you.
we're getting to the portion of our office hours where I'd love to open up for questions to the panel. And then in general, we've got tons of questions that came in over the transom in advance. And I think Angie and Ilea, we're going to have to probably just answer those one-on-one for people. We'll see what amount of time we have left. But just a quick one for Jeffrey, Linda, and Gregory. Any of you, does an idea come to mind for a mistake or a hard lesson learned or anything you want to share that you with this group that is something you wish you had known previously?
The amount of email traffic that you get from, I call them spammers. And I'm just imagining they get your information because well, I went through Amazon, and I'm not sure what route others went through, but they get your information and they know you are a new book author, and everyone has, the best way for you to get your book out and to get your information out. And so they kind of draw you in, and then you wind up purchasing something. So I bought something, not this actually was the best thing I bought, but I've only bought two things. I bought this site, of course, and I bought another one that really was just a bunch of nothing. And so I've just cut it all off. So my mistake that I would share with others is don't jump out at everything that looks good to you, because the return on the investment is probably not going to be what you expect it to be.
We are living in peak scam, people. This is peak scam. It is so incredibly petty that you would try to
Yes.
con an author of all people, isn't it? I don't really get it, but yeah, I appreciate that lesson learned. And it is no joke because some of the stuff that people send is really sophisticated. And we've had people, Gregory, come and say, "Is this legit to Tulia?" And I'm like, "Am I the one to break the news that this does not look legit to me?" But you're absolutely right that authors sharing that experience is really critical because it's easy to make that mistake. Thank you. All right, let's see if there's any questions in the chat for these authors. Nana, do you want to ask a question to one of the authors, or did you have a different question to ask? I think Nana's got her hand raised.
Oh,
You can
sorry.
unmute.
I'm sorry. I was looking for the microphone.
No worries.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. This is going to be my first book. Yeah, but currently I'm still proofreading. It's almost out, but I've started the pre-launching and then the marketing and all that back behind the scene. But I actually wanted to have, first of all, there's one question I wanted to know because I use social media a lot to drive engagement. I wanted to know if there is like this feature that can be maybe in later down the line inculcated in the whole website backend, like the pop-up thing that when they visit the site, I mean, some people will not really have time. They might be going, stepping out, and then they will just sign up immediately through the
Excellent
pop-up, and
question.
then probably we can start. Yeah, we can start. They can start. We can start engaging with them down the line, and when they get time, they will visit the site back. Yeah, that's my first suggestion. And the second thing is, I also wanted to find out if there is a way like the way you can start doing like the direct selling instead of Amazon, which site will be recommendable even though you have it on Amazon? Where would you recommend to have it selling, like without going through all these publishers and then yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate it too. It's really augmenting my book process. And yeah, I've gained some publication from USA Today that I believe is through Tertulia, and then International Business Times. And I'm really, really
Yes.
glad that yeah, I'm marketing the book before even it gets published. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Congratulations. Great questions. I'll take them one by one and then you could we can always talk offline as well. On the pop-up, yes. This is in the roadmap. We want to do this. Email capture pop-ups so that people don't leave or at least some sort of overlay, something that's really prominent when you get to the site. It seems like a really important idea. So thank you for that. And it's not lost on us. It's something we've talked about and we haven't put to the top of our priority list. But as you guys know, and I've said a million times, if enough people request it, we're very methodical about going through these requests and ranking them and stack ranking them and looking at the return on investment of these things. So, speak up if it's something that you would use. To your second question, selling direct, that is a big ball of wax to get into. So I think it's probably the stuff of an entire office hour session, but we are launching a pro tier of Tertulia that will allow you to sell direct, Nana. So it's going to start as digital. And then it's going to be print on demand, as Sebastian was saying a few minutes ago. And that is coming in this quarter. So we will do another demo when this is live. We'll walk you through it, step you through it with videos. And I hope it is something that you're going to try out because you're really going to have this one home base control center, which is your website, where you're also going to be able to selling. You're going to have all visibility into your audience, who's buying the book and for how much. I think it's a real paradigm shift. And, be patient with us because we want to get this product to be incredibly powerful. Our step-by-step process is going to be digital, then perhaps sending out from your home, bulk copies, as Gregory talked about, and then print on demand as well. So super excited for what's going to come. And of course, there are many other platforms where you can sell your book. If your book is on Ingram, you can also use a share and sell direct link and put that on your Tertulia website. That's another option. So happy to talk through those options, either offline and kind of give you an email setup or even do a session. If you guys want to mention in the chat if that would be helpful, we can certainly do that. Let's move to Renzi. Renzi, I see you have your hand raised if you want to unmute and ask your question.
Yes, thank you. The question that I have is like for the website, is there a way, and I know that there is, but is there a tutorial on how to add like an audio promotion of your book? Is there a tutorial on that?
That's a good question. There is not a tutorial on an audio promotion of your book. At this stage, what people are doing with audio is they tend to host them somewhere. That could be SoundCloud, it could be a Google Drive link, it could be Spotify, wherever it is that you've got an audio file that you're already pointing to in your promotion and linking to it from the site. So we do not have any audio upload at this time. Leah, have you seen anybody else do anything creative on the audio front that you want to share? No pressure.
I don't think I've seen a lot of audio.
Okay.
I've seen bookmarks, coloring book pages, things like that. And they link to the Google Drive.
And they link to the Google Drive, yeah. And
Okay.
then with direct sales, we'll be able to have you sell those as well. So, and I should say, Renzi, we're going to have audiobooks included in that direct sale, that first wave of direct sales. So I don't know if that's what you're referring to. I think maybe you're talking about more of an audio promotion or narration, but if you have an audiobook, you will be able to sell it.
Yeah, it's like a trailer that you use to sell your book. So that's what I was asking.
Got it. Okay. In that case, I would recommend if you want to do this now on Tertulia, make it visual. Get it on YouTube. You have the narration already. Put some visuals behind it. You can make it in AI,
Okay.
honestly.
Yeah.
Make it, you could put some visuals behind it, and then you've got a trailer for your front page of your site. That'd be beautiful.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. All
I
right,
do have a
Patty.
quick question. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Gregory, go for it.
So can we upload a video to the website?
So we don't upload videos. You can link to YouTube, which I think you already do.
I have something. I have pictures, but I do have a video. But I was wondering if it would run concurrently. But it just you just upload a link and then they go to a separate. Okay.
Yeah, and you don't have to go off site to watch it. So
Right.
it
Right.
pops
I
in
got
there.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. From the day one, Jeff, you probably remember this because you're an old timer with us. We didn't have video at all in the
Right.
beginning, and we really made that a priority. And honestly, YouTube serves like 99% of people's needs, so we just went with that solution. Thank you. Patty, you had a question.
Yes, I just wanted to follow up with Gregory on how he's selling his books. I'm also concerned about making sure I get credit, and I think mine are all published with Ingram Spark, and then they're available on Amazon and straight from me on the website and all this kind of thing. But I think all paths lead back to Ingram Spark. So I think as far as ranking goes, I think I'm okay with that. But I want to find out a little bit about more what he's doing when he says they're buying directly from him. Do you have boxes and boxes of books in your garage or what? How's that working?
That's a great question. So, what I do, so I've had maybe 3 or 4 book signing events, and so I have one. I had one yesterday. I have one next weekend. So if I know I have a book signing event, I'll go ahead and purchase a couple hundred books, right? And so when those books come in, then my goal is to get rid of those 200 books. Now, for large orders, i.e., schools, whether it's a school district or a grade level or an after school program. Like I said, I've had 900, I've had 450, I've had another 450 or 500. I'll order the books, I'll pay for the books, and then by the time the purchase order comes back, I'll have the money, you know, and it just I know I don't have to worry about Amazon not getting it because originally when I started out I had someone purchase a couple hundred books and it didn't show up on the Amazon tracker, and I thought that was weird, but they went through the Amazon site, and then you never can get anyone on the phone to help you understand what happened. It's like a perpetual send you around to the next person conversation. And the same thing with your website. I don't generate a lot of sales on the site. I get traffic, but the sales that I do generate, I know they're legitimate sales because the individuals have come back and said, "Hey, I'd like to have my book signed," but it doesn't show up on on the Amazon site. So I use this as an example. If I know I'm only going to have one sale today on a Sunday, because I want to see if it's going to go from your site to Amazon, it doesn't show up. Doesn't show up. So purchasing direct from Amazon is the way I want to go. And I don't want to have a garage full of books. So I only purchase when I know I have the sales.
And then did you publish on Amazon KDP? Is that how you just
Yes,
self-publish?
and
Okay.
yes, and I asked a question on here earlier to find out what else might be available, because if I can find a way around or out of Amazon, I'd like to do that, because if you bought my book off of Amazon today, Friday, you would get it Sunday. If I buy 50 books off Amazon today, it'll be 2 weeks before I get them in, which is crazy.
Hmm.
I I would just like to jump in real quick and echo something Gregory said. In addition to that, for new authors out there who are looking at KDP or even Amazon, the one thing I would note is be very careful about Amazon. They move the goalposts, and
Yes.
they're moving the goalpost all the time now. Um, that's why I think Linda and and the staff are moving in the absolute right direction of direct sales in the long run, because Amazon's going to move these goalposts to a point where the author is going to make very, very little. And quick point, I have a very dear friend who's a big time indie romance novelist. She was making at one point in 2024 and 25 $20,000-$30,000 a month. That's been cut in half because of the new shift that Amazon has in their royalty payments and what they're taking, and the fact that they're not marketing. So I would just add a caution to saying KDP is the be all end all. I think as the crow flies, it's not going to be. Right now, it still is the player,
Right.
but just be cautious.
Right.
Yeah, I like what Tertulia is doing. I like that mindset an awful lot. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for that, Jeff. Thanks, Gregory. Patty, I hope that was helpful.
Very, yeah.
Great. Lanning Levine, you have your hand raised. You can unmute.
Thank you, Linda. Appreciate it. I've written a number of websites, and I must say that this tool is the easiest and most intuitive tool to use to create a website, especially for authors. And I'm going to assume most of my colleagues here are not technically savvy. And I've grown up in technology, and I've got a little bit of an edge, which is what my book is all about. With job searching in the age of AI, most resumes are never seen by a human, and they're just put in the bit bucket. I even had a company, an AI-based bot company in the 1980s. I was 40 years ahead of my time. Gregory, thank you for pointing out the shortcomings of Amazon. This is so true. They try to upsell you and move the goalposts weekly. They want to sell you this, they want to sell you that, they want to continue with their services. So I've also moved on to Barnes and Noble Press, Draft to Digital, and Ingram Spark. So I've got accounts on all of those, plus our favorite website making tool.
I think, Lanning, are you in our Facebook community group? I think it'd be cool at some point if you join and share your experience with each of those vendors. I'm sure everybody would really appreciate your comparison of how that's all working out for you.
I will join that group today. I did not even know that there was a group.
Well, we need to do our job better to let you know that and get you on there.
Yeah.
What's the name of the group?
It's just called Facebook Tertulia for Authors Community Group.
Okay, I don't have a Facebook page per se, but I have one for my podcast. So I'll try. Can I join it from if I'm not an individual?
I don't know. I think so.
I did.
Maybe from your page.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Gregory, I do have a Facebook page for my book.
Okay.
So I created that, and it's so you can take a look at mine and see if you want something similar.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you for that.
Linda, Linda,
Richard,
Miss,
Richard, good to see you again.
Just
You can
quick
unmute and
comment.
ask your question.
Quick comments. On Tertulia's website, there's a button that said buy now, and it goes to whatever links you put on there. Tertulia put Amazon and Barnes and Noble. I added bookshop.org. I've also added 3 local bookstores. I have Amazon at the bottom. I might just take off the Amazon, and people will still find it if they go to Amazon, but you can drive traffic through other avenues just by adding the link, and just ask the bookstore, what is your link for orders? And my goal this week is to get bookstores in, Powell Books in Portland and Strand in New York, and the bookstore in Brookline, Massachusetts, and other places. So people will identify immediately around the country. Um,
Nice.
so
Good luck. Good luck. Richard, that's really a good point. Actually, for the new people, many of you who've been on Tertulia for a long time know this, but for the new people, we automatically pull in the links from our default retailers, bookshop.org, Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, and of course, our sister website, bookstore, Tertulia.com, if your book is available on those platforms. If it is not, and occasionally our importer misses or maybe doesn't find it for whatever reason, you have multiple editions and there's some kind of issue, you have full 100% control over what you want to promote. So there's people that want to have all the retailers. It's important to them to show the breadth of where you can buy it. And there's other people that are like, I want you to buy here. And they actually even put a little note in their retail link that says author's, preference or that kind of thing. So you have you new people, you have full control over where you push potential buyers of your book. Shameen, you have a question. Shameen of San
Yes.
Francisco.
Hi, thank you.
Hello.
Yeah, I just so happened to be scrolling on Facebook the other day and I found Tertulia and I went to the website and I was like, oh my God, this is so easy because I have several unpublished manuscripts and I want to maximize my reach through major platforms while building a direct to reader relationship on my website. And I've been so frustrated trying to fix Wix. It's really hard. Like if you're not a techie, and then to try to, I got all happy and I thought it was finished. And then I go and the mobile looks terrible. It's all messed up. So Tortilla just like kind of, I was like, wow. And so I came on here. I'm learning so much from everybody. I do have the manuscripts, but I haven't actually gotten them out yet. And I was going to ask that of the whole thing about the links and having being able to have people come to the website to and they be able to purchase and go to, like, do you guys use Apple? Is that a good platform to use? And just all the other platforms that you asked, you're saying that I can put the link on there, they click that and it goes there?
Absolutely. You can
Okay.
plug in any links. If you want to plug in Audible, maybe you have an ebook, audiobook only. There are many people that are, real in certain genres, audio's, huge and people do multiple editions in audio before they even come out with print. You could put in Apple Books, absolutely.
Okay.
That is you have complete control over that. And the way to do it is you log into the editor, you click into the book section, and on the individual book page, Charmaine, at the top, there's tabs and it says purchase options. You go in there and then there's a custom setting for it. So, we actually have this on our YouTube tutorial. So, if you're not following us on YouTube, definitely do that because you'll see there's a tutorial for some of these nuts and bolts things. There's just, sometimes like, if something's not intuitive, we learn and we've been refactoring the site experience to make it easier and more intuitive. But, if you don't find something, that's a good place to look first. And of course, you can always email us.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna sign up. I like it.
Welcome. Great to see you. Great new person. Round of
Thanks.
applause for Charmaine. Nice to see you here. Awesome. All right. Daniel asked a good question. How long or why doesn't my book show up in the Tertulia bookstore? This is also in sort of same vein of discussion. The Tertulia.com bookstore is our distribution of the bookstore is through Ingram. It's a wholesale relationship, right? So if your book is available in Ingram, we have it. What that means if you're on a self-published platform is that you need to opt in to expanded distribution. So you should have that option whether you're on Amazon or you're on Ingram Spark. There are some self-publishing platforms that don't distribute to Ingram or where the hoops are much higher, but the majority of self-published authors can pretty easily get distribution on Tertulia if they want to. And by the way, the same thing goes for bookshop.org. They have the same arrangement. Dimitri, you can unmute yourself.
Hey, how y'all doing? My
Hello.
question is this. I have I am with English Spark, and I have some of my links on my webpage with Tertulia. And my question would be, one of them, for some reason, it doesn't show my name as being as the author. As far if somebody wanted to look up the book, they would actually have to go by the title, because if they go by my name, it won't come up. It has like my editor's names on there. How do I go about get that changed?
So it sounds like maybe on the metadata of the book, the editor is put into the author field instead of you. Can I just clarify, is this about finding your book in search on retailers like Tertulia, or is this about putting your book on your own website?
No, I have a Tertulia website. So on my website, I have that on there. But when you click on it, and like I said, it'll go to the actual book. It's just it won't show my name. It'll show just the editor's name.
Gotcha. So on the landing page for the book, once you go off Tertulia to the product page at the retailer, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah. In the case of Tertulia, you can send a request and it might take a few days, but we can change it for you. In the case of the other retailers, you'd have to kind of, I think, go through the customer service to ask them and show proof that you're the author. I don't know of another way.
Okay. Because I wasn't for sure if it would be like through you all or if I needed to contact Ingram Spark and see.
So you could go to Ingram Spark, log in, and check out your metadata settings. Why don't you shoot us an email? Just respond to one of the Tertulia emails, and we can make a recommendation there.
Okay, I can do that, and I already have an appointment for Alana. I think
perfect.
Towards the end of this month.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Audrey, you have a question. I think you're going to be our last question today.
I'm feeling pretty lucky because of that. So my question is this. I write children's book under my name, but I have a novel coming out under a pen name and was wondering if there was something that you offered as an extension for those that use both. Or do I have to recreate an entire website and a separate subscription for my pen name?
That's a great question. Okay, so it somewhat depends on your goals. We have a lot of authors that have multiple pen names and they use one website, and we have some authors who have multiple pen names and they use two websites. So I think it's a little bit, Audrey, up to how you want to go about marketing your book and promoting it, and whether you think the two types of books can coexist on one site. If you were to start out with your current website, I would probably say, you could use our series functionality to separate the two pen names. You could use the custom pages functionality and have, a separate section for that author, especially if you're just starting out and kind of getting your feet wet with introducing this new pen name. However, if your goal is to really keep them discreet and separate, I think you should just set up a different site. And it may be important if the audiences are totally different that you do that.
It's definitely totally different. One is
Yeah.
for children, the other one's for adults. It's a fiction, it's a novel. So I'm kind of entertaining. I want to see best practices. So if there's a way that I can have names of authors that are doing that currently, just so I can get an idea and see what their best practices are and learn from that, that would be great. I don't know if that's a possibility.
It's a good question. That's the kind of thing that I'd love to be better about tracking. Good to see you, Silas. Bye-bye. Happy Valentine's Day. I know people are going to have to drop, so I'll just finish answering you, Audrey. I think that um, we could be better about tracking the sort of different case studies and the sort of best practices like that. But I will say just anecdotally, and I'll toss it to you, Ilea, if you have anything to add here, it's kind of all over the map. I mean, there are
Okay.
definitely authors who they decide that their website is going to be the name of their publishing company. Then they have multiple pen names under it. There are others that have their main name or their real name, so to speak, and then they feature books by their pen name under it. And then there are definitely people that have two pen names that are very, very discrete audiences. They're going to market them very differently. They don't want to confuse anybody, and they do different websites. It sounds like that might be the route for you. And
Hmm.
frankly, I don't think it's that much more work. I mean, it's sort of like at any given moment, you have a book coming out by one and you're more focused on it, and then you have a book coming out by the other. So it is, it's a little bit of double promotion, but you're also doing kind of really different spheres of influence and audience development with those books. So I wouldn't say off the top of my head I can think of good examples, but we can put our heads together and maybe look in our inbox correspondence and suggest a few for you to look at and just keep the, um, you know, sort of top of mind that, everybody's a little different here. So you could see them for inspiration.
Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye-bye.
Good luck. All
Thanks.
right, everybody, this went by way too fast. Jeff, Linda, Gregory, thank you so much. It was so fun to see you in your
Thank
natural
you.
habitats. Is this where you write? Are you sitting where you write?
I am.
No,
Yes.
I'm not.
Sometimes, I don't know. I've got an office.
Yeah, I'm all over the place.
You're all over the place. He's doing his
Yeah,
social media at the gym. He's writing at the grocery.
yeah, I'm all over the
Awesome. Well, it's
place.
it's so cool to see you guys joining in and sharing your stories and your wins and your experiences. And I just love it. Thank you so much for taking time with us. Hope you'll come back and join our Facebook community group. It's a way to continue the conversation for now, and we'll be expanding this series and finding other ways to connect all of you and make this community one that is strong and helps each other all the time. And yeah, watch out for those scams.
I'm going to join the
Thank you.
Facebook
Have a
group
nice,
today. Somehow.
Excellent,
happy
Gregory.
Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
Happy
Happy
Valentine. Take
Valentine's
care.
Day, everybody. Take care. Have an
Valentine's
awesome
Day.
Thank you.
weekend.
Take
Thanks for
care.
Thank
joining.
Bye-bye.
you for
Bye-bye.
inviting me.
Thanks.
Happy Valentine's Day. Bye bye.